Well, hi, this is Custom Works, and I'm Clint Allen. This is going to be a 4-part video. There's going to be one or two things that you yourself are going to have to patch together. Can't say why, but some of you will figure it out as we go through this. Big interest in the CCV mod that I make on all of my trucks, which is on the passenger side. And in the progress of doing this modification that I do, the extra CCV, and this will be in part 4, but I'm going to show you a simple way to do it. When I did this modification on my trucks in the fleet, I didn't just take, and there was some pretty interesting shots in the dark on how I did this, but I'll explain here real quickly. Some of them said, well, you took the valve cover from the other side. No, if you do that, it's reverse. It doesn't work. It's facing downwards. There were some other interesting ideas too, and it's always fun seeing some of the comments and the ideas. The modification that I made with the CCV from the factory, I actually cut this down, and I actually took out almost about that much of it right there, and then I welded it together and went and actually mounted it right here. That way there was enough room for the turbo tube and any other extra items that I have on the truck. So once again, I'm going to show you how to do that. That'll be in number 4. But let's get down to putting on the extra CCV. Now, what's the big deal? Why do I do this? Why did I show you that? Well, the crankcase ventilation with the blow-by that happens in any diesel engine, and especially with the age of these 7.3s, 20, 30 years old, we really don't want that in the engine. We don't want it passing back through the turbo, through the air-to-air, and back into the engine. It just builds up all kinds of crud. Causes, if you're running a larger turbo, you're actually, have a chance of screwing up seals because of the extra pressure that ends up in the engine. By doing this mod right here, even if you have a regular turbo or you have one that's, pushing out 30, 40 PSI, adding the second CCV on the passenger side is just going to let the engine relax. You're not going to be worried about blowing out seals, blowing out turbos prematurely. And we don't, once again, want that crud back into the engine oil. Diesel engine oil is a very crud-filled type of oil towards the end of the oil change. And if we can prevent that from getting back into the engine, back into the cylinders, we're just going to be so much more better. So once again, passenger side. This is the passenger side head of the truck. You can see where I've got the rag stuffed in where the oil would normally go. And what we're going to do is put it here. Now what I've done, well, hey, if you're new here and you just stumbled across this, come on, join the community. I've made it real easy for you. Down in the description below is going to be all of our playlists. All the sensors on a 7.3, what do they do? Can they be tested? Our hands-on, our debunking videos, our tech talk videos. We have built up a heck of a library, and it's easy to find right down below in the description. Once you work your way through that, you can go to our main channel, and there's more hidden in there too. So come on, join the family, and thank you very much if you do. Some thought into this so everybody here watching can handle this. is we've got a gasket set. Once again, down in the description, this will be in the description of exactly what I am using. And then we have this breather unit right here. So these are the two units down in the description, so you yourself can do this. So you're going to need to remove the valve cover because we're going to be drilling into the valve cover. We don't want that crud sitting inside the engine, and like I've said before in a couple other videos, we're just not going to get into certain items here. If you can't remove a turbo tube and remove a valve cover, you shouldn't be even touching the truck. Send it out to a professional, have them do it, no matter what their opinion is, because it's only an opinion. But either which way, the best place to put this is right in this area right here. Don't run off and decide, hey, well, you know, I think I'm going to put it over here. Well, we've got electricals happening here. We've got wiring going on. This is going to work both for OBS and the newer style. Even though OBS has a wire running through here, we have enough room in here with this particular one. I spent some time making sure that we have the correct one here so it doesn't hit anything, both for OBS and or the newer 7.3s with the intercoolers. So what you're going to do is get your turbo tube and get the valve cover removed, just like so. And you can eyeball this right here if you want, but what we're shooting for is to hit right dead center right in here. Put a little scribe on the outside and then you can eyeball it. Yeah, I know it's going to be in the truck, but then you can eyeball it. Once your scribe, or you can see the white paint that I put on here is there, then you can either put it here, or if you want it closer to the top, because it doesn't really make a difference, you can see I've got a speck here and a speck there. So those are the areas that you can put it. And you can also take this measurement as well. So I take my angle and I make sure it's up tight up against the valve cover. I push it inside so it catches the little flange here. And I'm going to show you from the outside. Connect it way on the end, not over here, way on the end. And that comes out to 4 3/8. You'll be doing it from the inside. That way you can get as close as possible. And once again, 4 3/8 is where the approximate center between the two valves is going to be. And then from there, just set her on down, take it to your workbench, clean it off real nice, hit her with the old brake clean. Make sure you're doing it outside, make sure you got some gloves on. If you've been following the channel for a while, you've heard two people that have damn near killed themselves by using brake clean in an enclosed environment. But either which way, I'm going to put mine right up on top here. This is a step, and this will also be in the description. The step that I'm going to be setting it at is 1 1/4. So then from there, clean off all of your excess. Get all of the nibs and little chunks of metal out of there. Go ahead and go outside or get yourself protected, get everything brake cleaned again, do a real good job. We don't want to have any of this metal going down inside here. These have a direction. Basically, you have a pointed wedged end that's going to go down. Then we're going to take the new breather, and it's going to fit tight. That's what we want, nice tight fit. Just like that. And that is the direction that we want. Don't face it downwards so the oil passes down. We do want to keep as much oil inside this valve cover as possible, but we also don't want to clog this up. So put it on that angle right there, and then go ahead and reinstall it. While you're inside here, it's a good time to take a look at your wiring harness. Make sure everything is nice and tight. Real good time to make sure that you check your valves and your lifters and your rods to make sure that these are not ridiculously loose. That way you can prevent an issue right away in the future. You can see if the push rod is bent, or if this is worn down, or if the clips are worn, and get it handled right away, and she'll run much, much better. But either way, get her reinstalled. And then the type of tubing that I use is I go down to whether it's O'Reilly's, AutoZone, those are the two most respectively, and I get a internal 5/8 inner diameter hose. Now that hose is specifically for emission systems. They might kind of look at you a bit strange, but have them look it up, and it is for emission systems. That way it doesn't start on fire. A oil hose, rated oil hose, basically does the same thing. So that's what I connect from here, and that's what I head off to the back. The next video is going to be how to make a catch can. The video after that is going to be the CCV mod on the driver's side, and then how to plug up that little hole that is in the air intake. And then number 4 is going to be how I actually do the modify. So if anybody here has the correct welding equipment and wants to take on that type of a job, or attempt to do that type of a job, on how I actually shrink down the Ford factory CCV, well, we're going to show you that too. That way you can have twin CCVs on each side. But this right here I put together specifically for you because it's much, much more easier. So I hope you've learned something today, and you take it easy, and you have a good day.